Today I want to review this plastic welding gun that I got off of Amazon. I just got it in. Really haven't looked at it yet, but I think I kind of know how they work. If you're not familiar with them, and I'm not, basically you take one of these little pieces of wire here and you insert it in the two slots, and it gets hot, gets that wire hot, and you stick it in the plastic that you're trying to weld. And this thing was 19 bucks on Amazon, so I'm not expecting a lot, but if it does what I want with a couple pieces that I need to weld, then I think it'll be well worth the money. So let's give it a shot and see what it does. So this is my daddy's old wheelbarrow. I have fixed it several times in a very white trash manner. I've glued it a couple times. I've put metal on it to fix some places, and you can see that it's seen better days. But these things are very expensive, so I've riveted this piece here. So these things are expensive, and I'm going to try to make this thing last as long as I can. And today I'm going to try some of that plastic welding and see if it works. So let's find out. We've got Scout out here to make sure everything goes right. She kind of keeps the discipline around this place. And over on my other side, we've got Gemma. We kind of keep Scout and Gemma away from each other because Gemma will pester Scout to the point that Scout gets mean. So we keep them definitely at least at arm's length. So here we go. We're ready to try that plastic welder. So what you do is you stick one of these wires into these two ports, and when I pull this trigger, I guess the heat's going to get to them and they're going to get red hot. And when they do, you're supposed to stick them. Let me see if I can get down here and show you. See that break or cut or tear? And we're going to see how well it works. I don't know how long it takes to get hot. Not long. I can see it going in. Okay. And you see it leaves two prongs sticking out. That definitely went in. Okay, looks like we're going to need to do several and basically stitch that thing up. Okay, so there you can see the stitches or welds that I did on that one place, and I'm just going to keep going here, and I'm going to stitch up a lot of them. And next I think what we'll do is see how well it works in the places where I already had glue. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and, I was going to remove the glue, but I think I'll just go ahead and see if I can weld right through the glue, see if that works. Alright, so I just stitched up this entire glue covered crack or break, and it's certainly not worse than it was. It melted through the plastic. I'm trying to remember what that was. I think that was hot glue that I actually melted on there, and it worked pretty good for a long time. But I think this might buy another year or two out of this old wheelbarrow. So let's get the little nippers and cut off all these little pieces so that they don't stick something, and see how it looks. All right, I've decided not to cut off these little things, at least right now. Where I am here, I don't want those little, half-inch pieces of wire in the ground. The dogs and myself going barefoot. So I may cut those off at a later date, but if I do, it'll be somewhere over where we don't walk around. I just don't like the idea of the dogs getting one of those in their paws. All right, that's all we could really get to in the bottom, but you can see I got all kind of cracks all over this thing, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get to some of them and see if it'll do any good. All right, so there you go. I've put these little staples in just about anywhere that I had cracks or breaks. Now this is just so far gone, I don't know. I may go back in after stapling it with some more of this hot glue gun. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go out and use this thing just like we have been. I'm cutting a tree up, and I've been hauling the wood over to a wood pile. So I've been mistreating this thing pretty good. So what we're going to do is go over there, and we're going to cut all these little doodads off in a place where I'm not real concerned about them being on the ground. And then we're going to use this thing and see if it did any good or if it just breaks right apart. So I cut off those little bitty points with a grinding wheel because that little cutter that came with the kit was just a piece of junk. It didn't cut anything. I think it cut 3 and it was dulled so bad. But I've already hauled a couple loads, and it doesn't, the real bad gaps aren't flexing like they normally do when I throw logs in here. So I think at least temporarily there's some added strength. And I wish I'd known about a plastic welder, 3 or 4 years ago when I first repaired this thing. I think it would be in a lot better shape now. So I'm pretty darn happy with this thing. 19 bucks, fairly well spent. So my kit came with 4 different staples, I guess we'll call them. You saw me use this one, which I thought would be best for trying to hold 2 pieces of plastic together. This one seems more of a cutter, and these 2, I don't know, different types of staples. I'm not real versed on what they're for, but that's what mine came with. Just like the cutters were no good, the box that they came in was no good, and this is the box, and that's going in the garbage. Instead, I took this old Magellan Plano, whatever it is, Plano fishing tackle box, and I used the plastic welder to cut out a slot so that I could put it in there, and then of course all the little doodads fit in there real nice, and it gave me a chance to practice with this thing. And in addition, I was able to, on the other side, cut out a place for my rivet gun. So now I have my rivet gun in here with all of its rivets, and it frees up a toolbox. So that's a nice little combo right there in this toolbox. I like putting things in toolboxes if I can, and I'll label it as such, and it'll go up on the shelf. But anyway, that's pretty much what I have for you. It's a $19 well spent. You can spend more. There were several brands. I mean, just on Amazon, good Lord, I probably had a dozen to choose from. I'm very happy with this one for what I need. And like I said, this was just something I'd never even heard of before. Maybe you're more worldly than I am, and you guys have already experienced the wonders of a plastic welder. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with it, and that's my review. Hey, thanks for watching.